Good morning and welcome to this webinar about how Vision AI eliminates false positives in the control room. Before we start, it's good to know that we would like to try to keep this webinar as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please use the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. If you ask any questions, we try to answer them during this webinar. It's also possible to send us a private message, and if you have a question in the private message, we will answer that question afterwards in a private email to you. So before we start, it's good to know who we are. So my name is Niek Bultman. I'm a marketing specialist within VAIBS.
My name is Jos and Niek. I'm the Business Development Manager within VAIBS.
So let's have a deep dive into the agenda of today. First of all, we're going to tell you something about who we are as a company and the reason why we host this webinar. Next to that, we're going to tell you something about what Vision AI is as a technology and how this technology filters irrelevant alerts. And we end up with a use case and some time for a Q&A. So the reason the introduction of our company, excuse me. So we are VAIBS. We are a Vision AI platform software developer from the Netherlands. We are based in Ouderwijk, and our mission is to create a smarter and safer world by transforming every camera into a smart device by using video artificial intelligence. And also we are trying to make this technology easily accessible and applicable for every organization. So we want to help our customers, our clients, to get more out of their video footage. So the reason why we host this webinar today, nowadays in the world of safety and security, there's a lot of technology available out in the field to support control room operators or safety guards in securing sites, buildings, and other objects that have to be secured. And the last couple of years, that technology has improved a lot, so it's becoming smarter and smarter, and it's more accurate. But today we came to a point that that technology is used so broadly and so many that the control room will be overflowed by a lot of alerts generated by that smart technology. And the problem is that a lot of smart technology used in the field cannot interpret what really happens, and there's no context of what is happening. So that generates a lot of unnecessary alerts by moving branches, by headlights, from passing cars, or by changing weather conditions like the sun, fog, rain, or maybe shadow. And the consequences of that is that in the control room there's a lot of noise and distraction, because the operator has to check manually every alert that comes into the control room. And because of that, it's also possible that they will miss some accidents that are really incidents that are really important to look at, because if you have to put all the time and energy in things that are not very interesting or important, the chance is very big that you miss something what is important. And because of that, they have to check everything manually, and that will lead to a high operational cost also.
And an interesting thing is that you can look at it from a financial or operational perspective, but you can also look at it from a biology perspective. Our eye, the human eye, also the one from the operator, can only see 2 to 3 degrees sharp. Within a field that we can monitor, it's 180 degrees more or less, means that we only see like 1% more or less. And that means that even if an operator is working in front of multiple screens, monitoring them all, he basically doesn't see that much. And that's not that he doesn't want to, or he didn't do his job properly. That's just because his eye, our eye, is not made to do so. So whenever something is moving, or so whenever we receive an alert or whatever, our attention, our focus is moved into that direction. If something else is happening somewhere else, we will miss it. And that is really the game we need to play nowadays. There are a lot of smart technology around. Many really improved the efficiency in the control room a lot over the years, so don't forget that. But introducing too many of those technologies, and if they all come with a false positive rate of 20%, more or less, you will have a lot of workload on your control room operators. So that's really where we jump into. We are not replacing them, but we supporting the control room operators with AI. If we take an example, in this case, an industrial estate, from an operator perspective, if he needs to monitor this industrial estate, he really needs to look at several things. He will try to look at several things. Whether someone is getting close to a fence or climbing over a fence, anything with parameter detection, or is there a car drive suspiciously slow, fast? Is it parking somewhere next to the road in a time window where when it's suspicious? He needs to look at it. He needs to evaluate it all. When he's evaluating one thing, he cannot evaluate other things. But also, he would like to understand over time. All right, did I see this car before? Which is very time-consuming to do. So take this one in mind, that it's pretty challenging for the human eye to oversee this complete industrial estate, but can be any other site as well. Next.
Yes, so as we already said, we would like to be this webinar as interactive as possible. So we would like to ask you a question. To answer this question, please go to the right-hand side of your screen, and under interaction, you can find a question in a couple of seconds. Wait a minute, and then I will start the poll. So we would like to know what your reality is right now to understand your reality. So if you're involved in a control room, or if your company has a control room, please let us know how many unwanted video alerts does your control room receive each week. Is that a 0 to 1,000 false alerts, 1,000 to 5,000 alerts, or 5,000 plus? So please go to the interaction tab, and yeah, well, if possible, maybe you can answer the question. We see the first results.
Yeah, and also please already think what kind of false notifications do you receive from a video perspective? Are those branches, spiders? What is it? That will be the next question. So if you already think about it, that will help us a lot. And thanks everyone for already answering this one. And interesting is that you see a lot with, that's basically shared pretty well. But we also receive a couple who has more than 5,000 false positives a week. That is a control room operator processing this, taking a couple of minutes maybe or seconds every time. There is a lot to improve down there. We also see quite a few answers who are doing 1 to 1,000. Please let us know. Thank you all for answering. Let us know in the chatter what type of false positives do you receive the most, and we might be able to answer this already within this webinar. So please don't be shy. Answer. You can do it in a private message as well. We won't share your name, and we are really curious. Where do you see that we can improve the most? What kind of false positives would you like to eliminate?
So if you can think of it and maybe give us an answer via the chat, that would be helpful. For now, we go on to the next slide, and we will come back to your answers right away in this webinar. So we think that we have a solution to cope with these false alerts. Control rooms encounter these days, and the solution lays in Vision AI. It's good to know what Vision AI is as a technique before we dive into that solution. So Vision AI is the process of using intelligent algorithms to understand video footage, and this enables the systems to automatically recognize what is happening in a specific field of view. So if your camera is running and it's recording, for example, a street of a building, Vision AI helps to understand what's really happening in the imagery. And to put this more in a schematic way, you can see this technology as a smart layer on top of your existing camera systems backed by AI. And the AI algorithms will understand what is happening in the field of view of the camera. So it's a platform over your existing camera systems. So when you want to boost your existing camera system, it's not needed to replace all the hardware. It's just enough to take this platform, put it and connect it to your existing camera systems, and yet deploy it in various ways to strengthen your security and your safety around buildings or sites you want to secure. So, and when we take a look at this technology, yeah, Vision AI brings you from image to data. So it uses artificial intelligence to give meaning to video footage. It does this by labeling everything that happens and that is recorded into the field of view of the camera. So the technology says this is a car, this is a person, maybe it's a tree or a certain pattern or an animal. And by using this technique, yeah, it can really understand what's happening. And because of that, it automates inspection and detection tasks a control room operator normally has to do. So it's 24/7 monitoring what is happening, and it's labeling everything so it can understand eventually what is happening, what has happened. And because it's capable of labeling everything that happens. It's also collecting data for insights. So how many cars passed by, how many people passed by, how did a certain group of people behave? Were they going to the left or were they going straight ahead? And by yeah, using this technology, deploy this technology, running it on your existing camera systems. Yeah, it will continuously train itself by yeah, using the data to be more accurate and be more yeah, aware of what is happening. And to do that, it uses deep learning, machine learning, but that is something I will explain in this sheet. So when you take a look at the small history of Vision AI or video AI analytics, it's a technology that is around for like 20-25 years now. It all started with motion detection. So when something was going through the field of view of the camera, it was capable of seeing that something was moving, and it would be generating an alert. But the disadvantage of that is that it was reacting to everything that was moving into the field of view of the camera. So it generated a lot of false alerts. And to reduce those amount of false alerts, we said, hey, let's determine the size of a human, of a car, or something else based on the amount of pixels, of how big an object is, to yeah, to determine if it's necessary to give an alert. But yeah, that reduces the false alarms for a bit, but yeah, it still remained inaccurate. So the next step was to learn to train the software to yeah to recognize what an object really was. So we took a lot of images, for example, of a car, and we trained the software to say, well, if the object has a shape like this in this image, it probably would be a car or a person or another object you wanted to learn or to train the software. Yeah, and that was the point that we could see that the number of false alerts was falling down tremendously. But yeah, it's still not 100%, and it's still yeah, you need the imagery to learn the software if it has to detect or to trigger an alert, you know. But it could not understand it by itself, like in a situation it was not trained for, if it's needed to trigger an alert. And the next step we are going to take is to use deep learning and Gen AI to understand behavior of people, and placing situations and behavior in a particular context. So if there's a group of people gathering with carton boards and with flags or with banners, well, probably that's a demonstration. And yeah, well, that's not something you have learned or trained the software by itself by using imagery, but all the objects combined, the software can say, well, maybe this is a demonstration, and yeah, you want to get an alert or you want to be triggered because of that. So when we started with motion detection and pixel-based detection, we now see that we really take the step to understanding behavior and understanding context of what is happening in the field of view of the camera. So, and when we take this technology to a platform based solution, we can say that well, it can be used for three purposes, or it's existing out of three pillars. The first one is live detection. So as Jos already mentioned, when someone is climbing over a fence or is getting nearby a fence, or when a certain car is passing by for several times in, for example, an hour, you want to get a detection of that because that's suspicious. The second pillar is more like to support the control room operator in forensic search of live and forensic video footage. So if an incident has happened and you have thousands of hours of footage, you want to search back really quick because that will improve the investigation of the incident. Vision AI can help you. A Vision AI platform can help you by using smart filters to filter thousands of hours of video footage real quick, well, to accelerate the forensic search and eventually react very, very quick if needed. And the last pillar, the third pillar, is, as I already said, more about data. So by labeling everything that is happening in a field of view of the camera, the Vision AI platform is capable of gather data and generate data and make a small data hubs of every camera used with this technology, and quantify things that happens in the field of view of the camera, and also use this data to export to, for example, BI dashboards, and get insight in what really happens on the street in a company, or what you try to get insight in, whatever you think of.
All right. Thank you. Back to the control room. So if you see, the control room has a couple of bottlenecks. That's mainly why we have this webinar. Information overload. A lot of sensors, a lot of technology, edge AI, another sensors, all bringing alarms, events within the control room. And it's just giving an overload. Where do they need to look? How do they need to process it? If they all process false positives, at some point they're not really taking it seriously anymore. And nowadays we have the technology to become more proactive, prevent things of happening. Someone is getting towards a building, someone is behaving in a suspicious manner. Act when it's suspicious and not act when it's too late. Also, you would like to prevent all the repetitive work. So you would like to do things which really matter, make your control room operators more efficient. But also, you see there currently a lot of systems are saying, we can solve that issue, ending up with a lot of different systems which you need to monitor, which you need to learn, which you need to look at to become as secure as you would like to do. Now, of course, generally speaking, there's a shortage of staff. Generally speaking, we become more efficient all the time, because more efficient usually means more secure as well. So the benefits of Vision AI is that it's highly accurate. It's not 100%, but it gets really close to it. So it will just give you the alarms which really matters directly to the operators within the system, which they're already using. So to not add any extra system to the operators, but just leave them working in the system they are familiar with. That means that an operator does not need to monitor all the screens 24/7 by themselves, but they can work more information driven. Let them work, let them look at things when they matter. more efficient, but also, honestly, it's also a nicer job to do if you're more activated. It's better for the human, it's better for the eye, it's better for the brains. It's probably a nicer job to do. Because why the control room operators are really good in is following up potential threats. That's what they're trained for. The human eye cannot monitor all the screens all the time. So we lower the workload in the control room, making the jobs nicer, but most importantly also more effective in a more secure manner. All right, so first of all, I will explain the platform that we offer. It's a Vaidio, it's a proven, globally proven platform, which can run on premise, on the server, on your site. It can also run in the cloud. It can also run hybrid. And sometimes we even put edge devices to it, for instance, in cars or in other places where we need to do small local processing and sending all the metadata to a centralized location. The platform itself is browser-based, so you do not have to do client installations everywhere. Just put in the URL and you can log into it. Secondly, we offer also an app on the phone to do video search, to track people, to receive notifications, whatever you want to. What makes us unique is that we are the broadest solution in the market, with more than 35 different algorithms called analytics within a single platform. That means that you have the flexibility to move around. That also means that you have a future-proof solution. So whenever the dynamic changes and suddenly you receive issues with protesters, with whatever you are having issues with, you can activate those licenses, becoming more secure. If the issue is gone or another issue came up, you make sure you are tailored to your needs at that time. Being the broadest doesn't make sense if you're not accurate, and we can proudly say that we are among the most accurate in the world. Not said by ourselves, but IPVM and IDC, global research institutes, are doing research over and over, and we're always ending up in the top 3. And the good thing is we are completely camera independent. So it doesn't matter which brand, which camera you are running with. We get the stream, we enhance it with AI, and we send the information, what kind of information you need, to the operators as you want it. And also integrated, of course, with the systems they are already working with. So whatever VMS, PSIM, or other application they are using with, we send the information to them. So keep them working in the way they used to work, just becoming more efficient. We are very low on hardware resources, and of course, really important one, completely NDAA compliant. And I would also like to add that we are completely EU AI Act compliant. We can prove that. We have been approved by governmental organizations within Europe, and we can prove that we are ethically sourced, ethically trained, data with consent. We do pen testing, so the system is highly secure and ready to be deployed within high-end security customers as well. I'm not going to explain everything, but I would like to emphasize the flexibility and the power of the platform by delivering so many different algorithms. And within this sheet and the next sheet, I'm just picking out a couple of them, and we will send this presentation to you after this webinar so you can easily go through it yourself. But what you see is that we can basically activate all those analytics on just a single camera if you want to. So you can make that single camera, which is maybe already installed there for more than 10 years, out of the blue and make it highly intelligent, supporting your control room. So first of all, really big benefit of the system already is not the live detection, but it's the forensic search. So live and forensic search within the system, within seconds you find all the results you were looking for. And a really powerful feature, secondly, is that if you have a person of interest, click on the person. We call it person cross camera tracking, and you will see if a person with the same characteristics has seen that before. It's not using biometrics. So you can use it in open spaces. It's completely GDPR compliant, and it's highly effective and has proven itself within airports, football stadiums, cities, for instance. So you can know where did he come from, where is he going to, but also has he been here before without using biometric. Of course, you can already search on whatever you want to type in. You can freely type where you search for person with scar, a mother with daughter, whatever you want to search for, person with glasses, etc. Just type in what you're searching for, just in the language you would like to use. And you find your results in which you can further search. Of course, we do fire and smoke, loitering, intrusion, crowd, PPE, etc. You will see them all just in a single platform. Now, we have a second screen. Of course, there is a privacy filter in there, so we can blur everyone and everything within the system, so it's completely compliant to your legislation. We do weapon detection, which is maybe really interesting one to emphasize, which is also consisting of knives. The good thing is, whatever your needs are now to secure your organization, or whatever data you're seeking for, doesn't mean that it's the same in 1 or 2 years. So it's really powerful to have a Vision AI platform which can say, all right, we are not needed this license, this camera, so we transfer the license to another camera. You can do that within minutes. They are not connected to a camera, but you can also say, all right, we currently have a large event going on in our city center, or we have heard potential threats of, I don't know, hooligans or whoever are entering a train station or wherever. We would hire up our analytics or change the analytics for these couple of days to become more efficient. All right, back to what we said before. It doesn't make sense if we generate all this data, triggering, recognizing what's potential threats, if we are not delivering it in a place where it's easy for you to work with. Of course, all the data can be demonstrated or displayed in our own dashboard, but can also be integrated to a third-party dashboarding tool like ClickSense, Power BI, whatever you are using. We can send all the triggers and information by HTTP or HTTPS to any other system which is able to receive, by email, by our app notification. We have a very well documented API, so we can integrate basically with any other system. You can do that yourself if you have the technical knowledge to do so. We can even trigger hardware, open doors, turn on speakers, lights, etc. with an I/O module. Or, of course, we integrate it with your VMS, PSIM, or other solution you're working with. The good thing to emphasize is that one trigger, one information source doesn't particularly need to go to one thing. It can go to multiple ways. So if you would like to receive something by email as well as it needs to go to your VMS system, it's fine to do so. If a full platform might not be the best case, or you already have a lot of smart systems around, but you're still encountering too many false positives and you want to lower them down. So you have edge cameras, you have alarm panels, which may be doing a pretty okay, but on a large scale, still giving maybe hundreds of thousands of false positives a month. You are not seeking a solution to replace or enhance all the streams with a full Vision AI platform. But what you're basically seeking for is a digital operator. So we developed the VAIBS image analytics. And the digital operator, basically what it does is digitally overseeing all the alerts you are receiving and doing a double check with AI. All right, do we believe this is a threat as well? It's just checking. It's not continuously streaming, it's just checking incidents that are happening. That is, for instance, if you have cameras with edge analytics not doing sufficiently, that we do double check on intrusion detection, for instance. All right, do we really see a person? But also, you can think of another way. If some other conventional system saying, all right, we probably have an intruder within our premise, we can say, all right, we take the timestamp of that alarm, pick up the video stream of the camera from that time window, and we easily checking if we really did see a person. If we didn't see a person, you can turn off the alarm and go on. If we did see a person, you need to know, you need to act. But the conventional sensors doesn't know if there is a person. They just see a motion or movements. It will reduce all your false positives to up to 99%. We will give you all the analysis reports, and it goes in the flow like, For instance, this is an example, but it goes like, for instance, a camera detects a person. It usually sends it to the control room. If it has an accuracy of 95%, it does pretty okay, but 95% is nice. But if you have hundreds to thousands of cameras, those 5% is a really burden on your control room operators. It's a lot of workload you really don't want to have. So what can we do about the 5%? Send all the triggers from your camera to our VAIBS image analytics. We do a double check. Our digital operator is doing a double check and is checking, all right, do we really see a person on our terrain in this case? Or were there only 2 cats? We can say so. We can lower the number of false positives by 99%. And only when we even say, all right, indeed, we also see a person in your building, on your terrain, whatever you're looking for, we send the trigger to your operator to evaluate and to follow up. If we do not see, we see a cat, for instance, in this case, or a branch or a spider or whatever we're looking for, or a system says, all right, we see smoke and we don't see smoke, we put it in our archive. It's always there for you to evaluate. We will show you within the report what kind of alerts did we monitor, how do we evaluate them. So you can always look back what we did and how we did it, but it will be instantaneously a big efficient step within your control room. Going back to that industrial estate that we discussed earlier on, and suddenly with the support of AI, you can do a lot more without hiring any more control room operators. While, of course, still we do the intrusion. So what we can do, what I said before, being information driven, focus to what needs your focus. So yeah, indeed, we see a person getting towards or climbing over a fence, boom, we send an alert. But also, if there is any fire or smoke development, we can let you know immediately without someone looking at the monitors. Loitering, maybe aggressive behavior, video search is a really powerful one. So what Niek was explaining, so we have 3 pillars: live detection, forensic search, and generated data. Live detection, all right, suspicious behavior, boom, we give you an alert. Secondly, the operator can see, yeah, is it really suspicious? Let me click on them and see where they came from and where they're going to, or did we see them before? It's giving an immediate situational awareness of the priority of the incident. But we can also track vehicles' license plates. So if you have unwanted license plate, we can track and monitor them. And if they enter in your industrial estate or area or whatever you are securing, we can let you know. We can also easily register if a car is parked next to the road in a suspicious manner but is driving away. We can register that license plate. So if he's coming back again on that industrial estate or another one, he will let you know. Just to look at it and try to prevent things from happening, then doing it reactively. So there are a lot of things that we can do, and please look at this when we send it over. But this is just an example that we do. Depending on your sites that you are securing, there are probably tens to hundreds of use cases to figure.
Well, and with that being said, it's time to wrap up the webinar and have a look at the takeaways. So after this presentation, we know that video AI analytics, or Vision AI, enhances your existing camera systems. It gives your current systems a boost that will support your control room operators and reduces noise up to 99.9% per camera. And that will make the workload in the control room far less, and makes the job for the control room operator more efficient, and it makes you capable of deploying them more efficiently. So yeah, I think that was the most important to say. In the end, we did go a tiny bit over the half an hour. We promised you we would speak to you. I hope you don't bother. If there are any questions, please let us know. I hope it was all clear. If there are any questions, you can let us know in the chat box. Otherwise, we will thank you for your time, and I hope we will see you next time in another webinar about another subject. So if there are any questions,
And another question, if there another topic that you would like to have a next webinar about, you are free to share it with us as well. That's good input for potential future webinars.
Yes, I saw we already got a private message. We will respond to that after the webinar. So thank you for the question. So I think there are no questions anymore. So I think it was clear. It's a compliment for us.
Or they fell asleep, but I hope it was clear.
So thank you again for your time, and yeah.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. See you next time.
Take care.
Bye. Take care.